guys, since we're going back to Nord, I think it's a good idea to remind all of you that even though Nords make up about 10% of the Erebonian population, they do commit about 50.
Emma, that's great, but we don't care.
Why you will?
Do.
Digital world.
Full
of a curse.
It's totally not been 2 years, but yeah. Welcome back, not Misty here.
The two Frenchmen are back.
We're back. But yeah. Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
So this is Max as usual, and we're back. Yeah, it's been a long time, but
yeah, 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm Shinobi Kev, and I'm back too with Max.
And we have a new guest.
Have a new guest here.
Hi. Straight from America. I'm Nightman.
The only
the man from the night. Best joke. Just kidding.
I would probably make some references to TV shows that these guys would not get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
because you know, we're not Americans.
Yeah. When I think about it, the last time we recorded something was episode 3 in 2018 when Sen 4 was being announced in Japan, and it's kind of it's still not bad, I guess, because Hajimari is right around the corner, and this is the following game to Sen 4, so in a way we didn't miss anything. Kind of.
The following game.
Only an East game.
The game following Sen 4, which is not really following.
Yeah.
It's the continuing story of the series, but it's not the game. It's not really Sen per se.
Can you really count this as an arc? Because, well, it's not really an arc, right?
It's more like Sky the Third, I'd say, where it's kind of its own contained story.
It's bridge to next game.
Yeah, but Sky the Third was still Sky. You know, it still was.
Yeah, it was still called Sky. Yeah, because it involved the same people of Choice in the Sky after all. Yeah. But here it involves many people from different countries and from different arcs. So they kind of wanted to get over with the fact to call the game Sen, even though it still features people from Sen games. It's not only them here; it's multiple from multiple arcs again.
We're seeing Lloyd again, and you know.
Yeah. So that's probably why they went with Hajimari no Kiseki or whatever. I don't know why they chose Hajimari per se, but I'm pretty sure they just wanted another name to, let's say, get over with Sen.
Yeah.
Also, not just like Lloyd and his group either, but they're also introducing a new cast of characters too.
Of course, yeah, the new cast.
The new cast, and even the Sky duo from in the Sky, of course, is back.
From Le Burr.
Yeah, even though I honestly don't think they're gonna do much because there's no Estelle route, which kind of sucks because I like Estelle, but
I wish, you know, it would have been nice to see Estelle become important again. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love Estelle, so I kind of wish she would have something, because Sen 4 was like, I mean, without spoiling too much, but it wasn't really. It was just helping, I guess. Estelle was helping.
Estelle and Lloyd were just playing second fiddle to Reen.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can't outshine Reen.
Yeah,
own game.
Don't you dare outshine the special Reen. Oh no.
Especially in his own game.
Oh yeah.
Reen the special snowflake, I guess. Again.
Now he got a heterochromia or something.
Yeah, he got new powers again. When you thought Reen was going to be, let's say, safe from being, let's say, a special snowflake, Falcom gives him back something.
Yeah.
Like the first the first games were trying to make Rin look like he was really nothing, and there's something that has been at least consistent with him, is that he really doesn't think of himself as a top tier shit or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's still pretty humble, but Falcom keeps on giving him way too much stuff to go in accordance with that philosophy, if you know what I mean.
Speaking of Rin, the last episode I did was with another friend, and I still remember what we said. Oh boy. Because we basically analyzed, in quote, Rin as a character, but you have to keep in mind, back then, Sen 4 was not out in Japan either, so we had no idea what awaited us, let's just say. So, yeah, that's interesting. So if anybody played the game, you know, since it's coming out in the West soon enough, at the time of the recording, it's, yeah, you'll see for yourself why I'm saying this.
Yeah, I think basically you guys said in that episode that he was some kind of deconstruction of light novel protagonist or whatever, and in fact, without any spoilers, in fact, not really. Yeah. He has way too many ties to not be a special snowflake. The only thing that doesn't make him a special snowflake per se is the fact that he's pretty humble about it.
Yeah, he is.
And he always acts humble, at least. So that's the good point he has.
Yeah, because you've got like those typical light novel characters that always act super confident, I guess, because I've seen quite a few of those. Like they know they're good, I guess, and that's why I like at least this aspect of Rin. I'll say that. Yeah,
he knows his height, but
he knows his weaknesses, and
yeah, he knows he's all right, but he knows that there could some stuff can go wrong.
Yeah, that said, I just wish Falcom would give him let's just say an actual voice and everything, and just be Rin and not a vessel for like the player to put himself in, or whatever. that's something else.
Falcom, you don't make Persona.
Yeah,
stop acting like
that just doesn't work with like this big world building aspect of the series, because this is not like playing a standalone game or like a small series. This is a pretty big series by now. Like, we're getting the 10th game. This is like number 10, I believe. That's something, you know.
Let's say it's not one-shot arcs.
Yeah, indeed.
So it really hinders the world building and shit.
Yeah.
And it hinders the character construction, because for a character that's supposed to appear in many arcs, he will lack personality when he will be back to talking. It's kind of like
you've got this contrast here.
Yeah, it's kind of like Golden Sun. I don't know if you guys play Golden Sun in Game Boy Advance.
I haven't played that.
Okay, so basically, in Golden Sun, I won't go over the story, but in Golden Sun, the character you control is a silent protagonist.
Oh, okay.
So you only choose yes or no, and then the dialogue will change according to what you said, but there's no mechanic tied behind it, but just the dialogue change. But so in the first game, because Golden Sun series have 3 games, but the first 2 games are a part of the same arc. In the first game, the protagonist you play is a silent protag, but in the second game, the protagonist from the first game comes back, and this time he talks. So for me as a player, it was kind of weird to read him for the first time, because I really didn't know what his personality was like. So I get he was a pretty sympathetic guy, but it was very surprising to read him in the second arc, because I really didn't know what to expect when I read him for the first time. And I was pretty young when I played those games. I think I started playing those games at 8 maybe, because that's when I had my Game Boy Advance SP, you know.
Yeah, I was older. But
yeah. I was 8 when I first played, and even at that age, I was aware of it. I was like, oh, okay, so he sounds pretty cool, you know. He's pretty cool-headed. He's not rash or whatever. He acts in accordance of the first game, of course, but it's still strange to see for the first time.
But the problem with Kiseki in this case is that it goes back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
All the time.
For Rin, it's like that.
Yeah, and it's worse, like, because it wasn't as bad at first, I will say, because Rin was more. It's like, to me, it's like seeing Rin being Rin, and slowly but surely, like, having those phases more and more until you've got this, you know.
Yeah. Because in the first two games, okay, well, I guess we'll talk about bonding events. But in the first two games, they had to present everyone.
Yeah.
So I understand that there would be a lot of interaction between Rin and the character he was bonding with, because he was starting to learn about the people he was talking to.
Yeah.
So that's normal that you see.
Also, you had more like story elements.
You had a little bit of not really story, but you had a little bit of background for the characters you were talking to, and that's what the problem started to be in Sen 3 and 4. It's because it took the characters for granted. And it was for everyone except New 7, since New 7 you had to present them too, but it took a lot of people for granted. Even on New 7. So you had Rin from the story, where he had to move the story, and you have Rin from bonding events, which is slightly different in some cases and totally different in some cases.
Just empty.
But I guess I guess this is human after all, because you're not always the same person per se. You act differently
this is not about Rin acting different, but more like not acting at all, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't say what he thinks. He doesn't say anything. He's just like, here. He's here. And that's it.
That's why I say that Falcom forgot they don't make Persona.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's it. But yeah, that is true. But yeah, I'm just hoping, because I've seen these rumors about Hajimari, to come back to Hajimari. Like, supposedly there's no more bonding events, but still, you still have that beach event where, like, thanks to the almighty generous Yuna, her parents were like able to rent the place or whatever, and you can go out on the beach and have dates with your favorite characters, apparently. So yeah, that's basically replacing the bonding events. You just do like special events with your waifu or husbando of choice or whatever.
I'm fine with like fan service stuff.
You have dates, but it's mini games.
Yeah, it's mini games, and you have that VR stuff, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to. I'll be honest. I just wish Falcom did not use Altina as like bait for the VR, but I mean, I like Altina, but that's kind of creepy.
It is. I will say though, they are also kind of in a way continuing the choice thing, because they're respecting your choice from the previous game. And if they're going to do that, it's going to cause more problems with the future games when Rin's a side character or whatever. Because I feel like... But I feel like they're going to probably just going to either ignore that altogether, or they'll just do what the sequel to Tales of Symphonia did, where you can actually kind of acknowledge what girl you had, Lloyd, and I'm talking about Irving, not Bannings, by the way. You pretty much like choose what girl you want that Lloyd spent time with in Symphonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a world-building series, so I think it would be kind of complicated to have different versions for every girl, especially if it's like if Rin is supposed to be somewhere in life, let's say. So you know what I mean? Like if it happens a few years down the line, let's say, even like 3 years, whatever, 2 years or more, it becomes more and more difficult because let's say, like Rin talks about like getting married in Sen 3. Like he says something like at some time, oh yeah, we reached an age where we have to start thinking about these things. And I'm thinking like, you cannot find a solution for that. It's impossible. So either you just give up and Rin is forgotten forever, or if he comes back, you gotta have something set up. And if again, because Kondo was kind of weird with this answer, like about the the thing. It was an interview, whatever. I don't remember who did that interview. Sadly, I need to look it up. But the interview about how the person asking, oh, there's rumors about a possible final canon choice, and he said yes, we have a lot of questions about this, and but what I'll say is that at least you can keep your choice from Senno Kiseki 4, and this character you chose will have preferential treatment. And I find his answer to be a bit puzzling, because he did not say no or yes, and he did acknowledge the problem. You know what I mean? Because he did acknowledge the issue. He did, and they know it's a problem. I'm sure they do, like because he said it. So, but again,
no, I think I'll cut short. I think I'll cut short, but with a little bit of spoilers, considering what Sen 4 did with a certain duo from Crossbell, I think they will either build something up or either impose a canon choice.
Yeah.
Because look at, if you look back on AO, depending of only one person really had a romantic event.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Sen 4,
everybody.
Same person is saying that a certain person has to make an effort or acknowledgement to, let's say, advance somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's like AO didn't happen. That it's like that certain event in AO didn't happen. But to justify that, I will say something. In AO, the final event is missable. You can just skip the final event. So I think for Sen 4, Falcom just went the road where nothing happened in the final event.
Yeah.
So
one thing.
Considering how Sen 4 did for this particular event, I think they will either say that nothing happened and they will have to build up something, or they will impose something.
Here is something I think I told you guys, but I think it's worth mentioning because this is so easy to do. Falcom could just do it without any issues, and that's the thing we talked about, like the visual novel way, where you still got all those routes, all those choices, but one of them is the canon one. You know what I mean? Like it's like in visual novel where you got this obvious main girl, which has this like amazing route or whatever, like this special route, and then you've got all the other ones. Exactly, exactly like that, So I think this is really easy to do, and if Falcom wants to do it, they can. So, and you know, that this is just me dreaming like a madman, but based on what we've seen so far, I think there is a possibility. Even I've got some friends that were really not thinking this at all that start actually acknowledging this possibility now because of you know what
when you think about it, what you brought is pretty interesting because it's kind of like that. It's the story of Kiseki games are like kind of like visual novel style, but in execution they are executed as an RPG. So maybe that's why Kiseki series are appreciated as a whole, because it's the storytelling of a visual novel, but it doesn't play like a visual novel. Is actually, there is player interaction with them. So maybe that's why it also attracts people. So that's interesting that you bring that up, because it's what's happening in certain way with Sen series. Because when Sen series released, we also saw a rising of the visual novels sales in West, if I recall correctly. Like we got Steins Gate starting to be out for the West, Steins Gate Zero being released, Steins Gate Zero as an anime. There was also Little Busters being released, Clannad being released for the West, and stuff like that. And you have nowadays you have a lot of visual novels in West, so in a way, Japan is making its way to us. So it's a good thing.
If only they would release Fate Stay Night and Tsukihime on Steam.
That would be bold. That would be bold, I think.
The uncensored version.
They probably would do an uncensored version, to be honest.
Well, we live in a world where the likes of Taimanin Asagi is being released on Steam, so
yeah. You know what though? That those guys, like the people who publish those games, they tend to have a patch to uncensor the game. On their website,
of course.
So.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah. Also, I'm excited about the mini game. You know, the Magical Elisa mini game.
Oh yeah. I find it interesting that has its own unique story too.
Yeah, story and stuff. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be fun. Because it's not like a lazy. It's not like the lazy minigame they did in Tokyo Xanadu. Like, oh, we'll just put Mishi Panic and call it Magical Elisa, and that's good.
Yeah, the Magical Elisa is fucking Mishi Panic and Demon Prince Reen Fishing were kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie.
It was it was so lame. I know.
Yeah, it was just their cameo.
Yeah,
because they exist in that world like as an anime, so.
They didn't even like use the same seiyus.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty, really, in my opinion. It breaks the. I don't know. It kind of breaks the thing, you know, like not hearing.
Well, let's just say they are cosplayers.
Yeah. You know, Tokyo Xanadu had a dub. I would wonder, would they get Sean Chiplock and Rachel Hirschfeld back for those little cameos?
Who knows? I guess it was too expensive for Falcom to justify like hiring Yui Horie and Koki Uchiyama. Like, oh yeah, it's just.
It's just for shits and giggles. Let's go.
They are kind of big name BAs, so I guess I wouldn't really bode well with their agencies.
Yeah, I'm also excited. Speaking of Magical Elisa, like I'm kind of happy she's important, I guess, in Hajimari. Personally,
you mean like main Elisa or just the magical version?
Main Elisa, like just
yeah.
Because
to be honest,
there's good stuff like Risha is coming back. You know, Lisa is important. You know, good stuff for us. I guess. To
be honest, I wasn't expecting much for Elisa in that game because I thought they were gonna blow the load with her within Sen 4, but I got pretty surprised when those previews came out and that one dude got an interest in her. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say.
The certain dominion.
Yeah. Because you know, now that a certain someone is not available anymore, now it's. It's a problem for Lisa, but let's just not say more than that. But yeah, Risha is back, which is cool because we haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah, she was only name drop and Falcom teasing the missing people till the very end, and then Sen 4 was just like, no, they're not there.
What I wanted to say, what I wanted to say is, ever since that VR event in 2019, was it? Like the Falcom VR event anniversary? I kind of had a feeling, I don't know, but have you guys noticed like how the three routes, like the three protagonists are being sold with like those teams, and that team is basically for Reen what was the you know, like
the VR thing.
The VR thing, yeah. And I noticed like Falcom is kind of pushing in that direction because ever since they did that poll and you know, Reen, Elisa, Altina, Crow were the winners, I guess the four best
or the top four.
Yeah, top four. They kind of like committed to them, and I find this interesting. So It seems like
which is a
Falcom-
good thing.
Yeah, it
by
is
the
a
way.
good thing. I actually think it's really convenient because, in my opinion, they're kind of a very good team. I guess it's a good appropriate team because you have the heroine, you have the main character obviously, and you got Altina, which kind of has to me she has more of a heroine vibe than United to say.
She's basically Reen's Robin.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, I used to say class 7 is a mistake. New class 7 is a mistake,
Yeah.
but I changed my mind. I think it's more appropriate to say that New 7 has been poorly handled.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. I think they're more like a victim that like because we kind of we have a tendency for the listeners, but it's kind of true that we sound like we are shitting on them, but really it's just that we have just frustrations about New Class 7. It's
Yeah,
Falcom did not handle well.
some especially some characters.
Yeah.
The problem is though, we already had like a bloated cast, and they added more characters.
That's
and
too
I'm
much.
like,
Yeah.
I don't think the problem is the bloated cast of characters because Suikoden series is known for having a lot of playable characters, but it's not an issue that has been a big problem to people. It's I think it's mostly the way the game handles them.
Yeah,
that
because
bothers people.
honestly, like, is there really a reason for Elliot Craig to exist?
He's just a link between the army.
I always say that Elliot Craig is great because he's the typical best friend of the main character
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
Elliot
so
Craig
that
exists for the simple fact to give Reen a certain semblance of normal life. Like Reen doesn't only know top tier people; he knows the people of the town, something like that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, true.
It's not always to say Reen only knows big shot of people. Reen also is tied to let's say more normal people, but then again Elliot knows that big general in the army, so it kind of falls flat, but not completely.
I'd say like the most normal person would have to be Machias.
Yeah, I would say that.
Except the fact that his father is involved in the capital's politics.
Yeah, that's
So
not really normal, yeah.
So nobody is
Nobody's
really a
normal,
normal person.
Because the guy is like a general,
Except Gaius.
Oh yeah,
Gaius.
he just likes to make love to the wind or something. I don't know.
The only thing Gaius would have is that one of his ancestors is probably tied to Draco's journey or whatever. But yeah, basically, Gaius Warzo is part of one of the biggest tribe of Nor Highlands or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing he has. But to the eyes of the Empire, he's not really a big shot. So he's one of the normal person.
Well,
Because even Emma, if the Society of Witches is pretty secretive, she is the granddaughter of the village elder, so she's not nobody.
well, I will say though, Gaius did did get a little something in the third game. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, spoilers here, but
I mean, yeah, we don't really know actually yet if we want to do like full on spoilers or not. So I guess maybe we can just try to be vague. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just say he did get a little something in Cold Steel 3. So.
Oh, I need to take something because my glycemia is too low. So maybe we can take a commercial break or something. Or
Alright.
You two can continue. It's all good also. So I'll
I think we'll take a commercial break. Send those Pepsi ads or Coke ads.
Also, This podcast was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. I'm just kidding.
This podcast is brought to you by the Reinford Company. Why not buying a normal bike? The season is beautiful. 10%
Having the wind blowing your head.
Yeah, get a 10% off discount for viewers by typing the code UNASUCKS.
Come on, Max. We were saying that we wouldn't drop names yet. But yeah, this is gonna be a real topic for another podcast. Let's say the problem with New 7.
Yeah.
Totally not clickbait.
Yeah, totally not. But I think it would be interesting to actually
talk about
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a certain someone. And which is pretty ironic because not really ironic, but kind of funny. Today I got some more things to, let's say, complain about that certain person.
Oh.
I got even more details, and really, Falcom has badly implemented her.
One thing I will say in general, that's my feeling, and I'm sure you guys probably share it as well. It feels like ever since Cold Steel 3, when Falcom went back to Kiseki at that point, it feels a bit lazy, like in some things at least. In the writing, it feels like they just sat down and like, oh, good enough, we'll just make it work. To me, that kind of what it feels like in certain ways, you know?
Funny you bring that because it was kind of like I was saying before, like they took it for granted.
Yeah, basically, but not just taking it for granted, but just like, oh, this does not match the previous games. Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just make it work somehow. You know, and I just find it lazy, in my opinion.
And Kondo will then say, "Yeah, you can play the games in whatever order you want."
Oh god!
Which is wait for before assassinating for controversial take. It is true that you can start with whatever arc you want. There's no really a best way to play to start with, but there is a good point. Not saying there is only one good point to start, but there are good points to start, or to there are good routes to start before instead of just saying you should play the game in orders. You can start with Crossbell and go back to Sky, for example, or you can start with Sen 1 and 2 and then go back to Sky, for example. But starting with 3 and then going backwards, it's starting to be a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the games can be picked up in any orders, but
oh yeah, but who's this? Who's that? What is this? Like, what are they referring to? I don't get it.
What the hell is an Arios, man? Is it a sponge brand?
I'll say this because I understand some people are like, oh, don't judge. Like, you know, people do what they want. But here's the thing: when you watch a series, do you say, oh, you can start at season 3, it's all good? Like at episode 20 in season 3, like just start there, it's all good. You know?
Yeah.
You don't say that. You know? I mean. You can if you want. It's possible. You can just pick it up at episode 20 and be like, okay. But why would you do that? You know, if you want the best possible experience, you need to play it in order. That's like watching something in order, I think. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, you do have some examples. I will say, like even the Gargar trilogy. Have you guys played or seen those games? Like the previous games?
I've heard of Gagharp, I just never played them.
So here's what I say: those games they don't really play in order, but they do complete each other. Like you can really see references from, it's a trilogy, so you can see references to one of the games or like the later one or the previous one, and it's like different worlds, pretty much. But you can play them in, not in order. It's all good because it's not as heavy on world building, and it kind of completes each other, so it's kind of cool in that way. But in this case, I don't think it's a good thing, because when something happens and then gets referred later, you need to know when happened what happened before. I think
the problem is that Falcom has took the decision to start up as a fresh experience and not be too heavy on previous games.
Now, I think that's what they want to do, to not scare people.
That's why they're saying that you can start with those games, but play the others. Because they wrote Sin-Free as a game that can be picked up as if it was the first game. So that's why when you were saying you can start the series on the season 3 is kind of false, because it was decided to be written as a fresh start.
Oh,
so that's why it's kind of not true. That's why what you said is kind of not true. Not saying that it's wrong either, but it's more a gray zone that what we were saying. But it's just that Sin-Free has been took as a fresh start, like Kondo said in one of the interviews. He because the question has been asked a lot of time, like, can you recommend the new this arc for the newcomers? And he said, for when we started developing it, we started to you are starting to play as a new chapter of Rin's life. So even if it is the third game of a ongoing series, you can start with it, because it's a fresh start in Rin's life. So that's why it is like that.
Oh, I saw someone sharing my Hajimari opening guitar cover on Twitter. Shameless plug.
I will say though, I will say in like some ways I can't blame like companies like Nisa saying you could start with Cold Steel 3, because
they don't want to scare
I kind of get it though, because like they don't want to give like a different publisher money, and I'm referring to like Xseed because they released all the other ones. But
they're saying what Falcom is saying basically.
Yeah,
Kondo even said the same thing.
Kondo
they don't want to have they don't want to have a two-way dialogue. They don't want to have a contradictive take between publisher and.
They don't want to upset. They don't want to upset Falcom, I think. But the thing about Kondo is that he'll just say whatever fits the mood and the needs of the company, even if it goes against the games themselves. I noticed that, but whatever, it is what it is. You know, it's a company first and foremost. They don't really want to scare people off and say, don't play this game if you haven't played the others, because I then no one will buy it.
You need to sell the game after all, so
so you kind of need to sell it.
You can't tell people, I'm making a game, but you shouldn't play it first. What?
Like Kondo will personally come to your house and slap you and put all the games on your table and say, play this, and then you can play this game. You know?
That would be weird to say that. So in a way, we understand his stance. But let's say that it can be pretty annoying. It's understandable, but in reality, in execution, it's a different thing. Even though they really wrote Sin-Free as a new beginning. So that's actually one of the big complaints of Sin-Free, is that Sin-Free, it feels like we went backwards. We went to Sin 1.
Also,
that's one of the big complaints.
It kind of rewrote some stuff, so it's a bit like, I don't know, like, is this Steins Gate or something? I don't know.
It's like poetry in there, rhyme.
But actually, you're talking about Steins Gate, but big spoilers.
Oh, I know. But let's not talk about this.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe we should do like spoiler-free episodes and some spoilery episodes and just say. when we, for example, I feel like the character analysis, let's just say, this one will be most probably
the character analysis for New 7. Yeah, this will be spoiler.
Yeah,
this will be spoiler.
Yeah, I think
there
it
needs
goes
to be.
without saying.
Needs to be.
I know I keep jumping between topics, but I thought about this recently since you mentioned it. I think the violin is back in the soundtracks because I was listening to like the previews of the mini soundtrack for Hajimari, and there's like a few violin-heavy songs. So I think yeah, the violin is going to be back in full force. Maybe, I hope.
Well, Nagano never left JDK.
Yeah,
so...
but I know. But what I mean is,
but yeah, they didn't use her a lot. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what you meant.
Yeah, they didn't use a lot of violin in Sen 4, for example.
Yeah, they used a lot of synthesized violin, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, which didn't sound the best.
They didn't sound the best, but it did the trick, in my opinion.
I'm not against. That's one thing, because I'm not really the biggest fan, let's say, of programmed MIDI songs, but as long as they do the job and use like decent samples, I'm fine with it. This is a soundtrack, like, after all, so.
As long as it's not bees.
Oh, the can of bees, yeah, I know. In Sen 4. Yeah. I mean, you know, people give shit to Singer, but I think this is kind of deserved in some ways, but he did some decent tracks too. In my opinion, there is like one or two that are not as bad. But
for Sen 4, what he did wasn't that great. Yeah. But in East 9, he really outdid himself.
Yeah, I think so. And I've seen criticism like saying, "Oh, this is so uninspired" and stuff. And I'm thinking, now you're just trying to find ways to complain about Singer because some people just want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, East 9 to me was he did a lot of efforts. That's what.
Yeah, there are plenty of bangers from Singer in East
9. Did you listen to it, Night? I would assume you did, but.
East
9
he did follow the live streams.
Yeah, he did. So you should maybe.
Yeah, might have heard some of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what I like about it, at least, it's that in East 9 he sounds Falcom. I guess he has this Falcom sound to him, which was not the case. Because if you listen to Sen 4, it's just like this really nasty, high-pitched electronic sound. I don't know how to explain.
You really feel like there are very different composers.
Yeah, it just sounds like Yeah, because you've got like the Unisuga stuff, and then you get Singer, and then you listen to both, and you're like, what? Is this the same game?
Yeah.
We keep on talking, and we don't leave any room for that.
Yeah. It's alright. I kind of like was looking at something else, so.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
Was looking at nude Elisa pictures.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the transition to 3D in-game engine as a opening instead of anime of an animation?
That actually sounds good.
Yeah, I don't mind it either, but you know, since Falcom was first doing what I call dynamic stills, and then they hired a studio for Sen 3 and 4.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah, those were bad. But I'm all for the 3D opening because at least it doesn't look derpy. I don't know, like.
Well, I think the animation wasn't that bad, but the style of it was pretty bad. The characters didn't look good. The animation was pretty okay, but I think what bothered the most people is that characters really don't look like the promotion or the artwork or whatever.
Oh yeah,
the characters don't look like themselves.
You're talking about the 2D ones, like the openings of 3 and 4. Okay, yeah, true. That is very true.
That I was comparing, because in the dynamic stills, from Sen 1 and 2 and even Aonokseki, for example, you could fairly notice that it was in-house, drawn in-house, you know.
Yeah.
But when they went with animes, with animation like Zero Evolution, Ao Evolution, Sen 3, and Sen 4, those animations, in those animation, the characters didn't really look like their artwork counterpart.
Yeah.
For Zero and Ao, they were okayish, but for Sen 3 and 4, they really looked derpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the animations in those intros were so bad they make early episodes of Dragon Ball Super look like Ufotable did them or something.
Yeah,
Well, they weren't animation per se. It was, like I said, dynamic stills.
You mean Sen 1 and
But-
2 then? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I actually prefer Sen 1 and 2 over 3 and 4. Like, I would rather have those dynamic stills than the crap we had in Cool Steel 3 and 4.
Honestly, though, I will say that it does kind of suck. There was more like scenes from the game itself, and rather than like some original scenes.
Yeah.
But I will
Yeah,
take that. I will take that over what Cold Steel 3 and 4 did, which was just ugh.
Yeah.
Animation still is a little derpy, but you really feel the effort in animation.
I find it's also interesting how the character is present in the opening. Like, there's not everybody this time. It's not like New 7 being showcased, and more like you get just the main core, like the core cast of, all the roots, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how for Rin they didn't put everyone. They didn't put everyone Rin knows, but for Rin they mostly focused on a tiny bit of people.
Yeah.
And for the newcomers, you see all the newcomers together.
I mean,
and
Rin, they focus basically on
Rin.
also the VR thing, like, when they show Rin with the others, like it's but that's it, like
To be fair though, you can't.
You see everyone, so
can't fit,
everyone
like-
has Green Time in the opening.
Yeah, you can't entirely fit like everyone in that one little still shot though.
True.
At the end, so.
True. That's why you keep the most important, I guess, or whatever. But
Yeah. I will say though, I'm gonna give Falcom a little bit of props for the Cold Steel section of that ending part of the intro.
yeah,
Because they could have easily just been like Rin and New Class 7. They're the only main characters of Cold Steel, but that's not what they did. So pretty much like you could say like they could have swapped Elisa and Crow out of there for Muse and Ash, but nope, we got Elisa, Crow, Altina, Yuna, and Kurt with Rin there, and I'm like, okay, that's actually it's a pretty good balance between all the new Class 7 members. If I'm being honest,
I know some people will not enjoy this.
some
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm
But
happy to see Rin and Elisa.
especially because it's because you see a certain person instead.
Yeah.
You see both of two blonde characters.
Oh,
It
those,
would be-
okay. You mean like
It's
the
not
two
that- it's
added
not like-
ones?
Yeah.
Okay. that's
It's
what
not
you
that. It's not that Muse doesn't appear. It's more the problem is more like they chose to display Yuna and Kurt instead.
mean. Yeah, that's so weird. I was actually surprised because, Rin and Elisa, I get it. They've always been paired, and Elisa is kind of important. But Crow, I get it too.
Yeah.
My phone is ringing. But the thing I don't get is Yuna and Kurt, as far as I know, they don't really have any super important stuff going on. I mean,
Yeah.
Muse is actually more, I would say,
Important.
than
Yeah.
Yuna,
especially in Saint 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Altina, I kind of get too, though.
Altina, I get it. I kind of get it by now.
Kurt's about as important as like every other character.
Yeah. Vanda,
Kurt
again.
is the Kurt is the bruffish, and even when you look at Yuna's pose in that shot, oh my god, she does the V pose, like, hey, I'm there. I'm like,
Someone said that with Yuna, it looks like she just kind of jumped in last minute, just a photobomb.
Yeah, it really looks like a fucking photobomb.
She was like, I'm a main character too.
Because when you look at her position, she's at the bottom right or left, bottom subjective left. No, bottom left.
If you talk about the illustration, she's all the way on the right, I think. If you talk about that, like the original illustration where the opening is based on, No,
not that illustration. In the opening, you see at the end of the opening, you see Reen, and you see Estelle, you see Lloyd.
That's what I'm talking about. Like when they quickly show those pictures, and it's basically a rendition of like the original illustration. And on the original illustration, Yuna is like all the way in the background on the right, on the upper right. And you've got like the rest in the front. She's with New 7 there.
Also, justice for Father Kevin, because they fucking forgot he exists again.
Oh yeah, poor Father.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Earlier we were talking about how Estelle has been forgotten, but there's a certain someone who's dying to appear again in
Estelle may not be a main character in Hajimari, but at least she's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's being shown, so.
Yeah.
Father Kevin, unfortunately.
It's crazy on how I will do some hour spoilers, or maybe not, but Kevin in Aono Kiseki appears like within the first 30 minutes of the game. He appears to help the protagonist, and while Kevin doesn't appear a lot in Aono Kiseki, he has been given a very, very, very pivotal role in Aono Kiseki that even if you don't see him much, you still remember that he fucking helped.
Yeah.
So even Aono Kiseki didn't forget Kevin, but in the next game, there are too much members of the church, I guess, to not use Kevin.
And he never got a 3D model, I think, ever. Like if you count even Sen 1, he never got a 3D model because he never appeared.
Because there are too many church of the members involved already in Sen, so we cannot use Kevin, I guess.
Yeah.
Though there is a reference of Ein Selnate in Sen 3, and it's actually a radio topic.
Man. But
when that lady talks about a sister who was smoking cigarettes and started twitching in Heimdall.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a radio topic.
Yeah, but the thing...
even Einstein got a reference, but Kevin, nothing.
It does make you wonder like what they're up to, because they exist, they're in the world, those are characters that supposed to be around somewhere, so
yeah. Even Waji, he's just name dropped, but there's no Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin is just nowhere. Like,
yeah, we don't know.
It's kind of sad.
Maybe we don't know. But in Aono Kiseki, he was in Calvard. He was both in Crossbow and Calvard.
Maybe he'll be in Calvard then. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he'll probably be in Calvard, because if you remember correctly, in Aono Kiseki, when you go look for a certain someone and where he comes to help you, he tells the player, or you are informed that he stays at Altair's lodge, which is in Calvard, I think. So even if he does help in Crossbell, he's staying mostly in Calvard because people in Crossbell doesn't like the Grass Ritter.
Yeah.
The Archbishop isn't too keen on the Grass Ritter. He said it in the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because the archbishops are pretty much aware of that side of the church, but they are just not supposed to make it public. Except for the likes of Eddie.
Yeah, true.
Just kidding. Eddie is one crossbow hotshot anyway, so
yeah.
kind of normal.
Yeah, I remember that because when I was playing. Oh,
Yeah, because Lady is tied to is somewhat tied to Reese Argent. And welcome back, Knight. But yeah, also I found it quite intriguing that a certain someone who was in rehabilitation has, let's say, a doppelganger. I don't know if it's said like that, but you know, a sort of evil twin or whatever. We don't know if it's her or an evil twin.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm interested in that since I like that character, and since she was only name dropped a lot in Sen 3 and 4, I want to know what Falcom did to her. That's why I'm pretty intrigued in what the story will be.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
About that. Yeah,
that's gonna be an interesting twist to see what the hell happened.
Because I'm okay. I'm happy that my favorite character from Crossbell is back, but you know, the things surrounding her is pretty interesting too. So it's not only that the fact that she matches my fetish or whatever. It's not that. It's not that. I like the character as a whole.
Risha's got a butt that just won't quit.
True.
True, but it's not only that. That's what I was saying.
She has the best butt in Zemuria. But I sure cannot wait to date the Grandmaster. You know that.
Talk about harem in Hajimari.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, by the way, because I'm really joking. If this ever happens, I think I'm gonna lose my shit, honestly. But,
you know, with Reen and Celine being on that banana boat in that screenshot, you could say that Reen just really wants to get some of that pussy.
La 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 la.
He's riding with the pussy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty unpleasant one, in my opinion. It's just no, but Celine is just not my. I think.
I like her as a character.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But I just think her tsundere attitude is a bit too much. Like she's trying too hard to be.
Yeah, it's been 4 games now. She has to evolve.
Like come on, because.
She needs to
They're supposed
be
to evolve, you know, normally. I know there's 2 types, you know, there's the type that evolves and there's the type that just never, it just goes back and forth between being Tsun and Dere, but this is the one I hate the most, because I'm not against Tsunderes. Like, if you can have a good one that evolves and becomes someone that is not a Tsundere anymore, I guess, it's just Dere, you know, but when you take a Tsundere and just make her really unpleasant all the time, you know.
If it's just the Tsunsun, then it's
Tsunsun, you know. Yeah, it's just Tsunsun.
It's not Tsundere, it's just Tsunsun.
Yeah, and I just don't like that. So, yeah.
And before
what?
I get it. People wants people they like to abuse them. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But when it's just Tsunsun, you know, it's kind of weird. Because, okay, I don't mind majestic people. Because, you know, I can understand the fact that you only want to be hurt by the people you love, you know?
Yeah.
You don't mind being hurt by the people you love. That's what I think people think, what majestic people think when they are masochistic. They are masochistic because they don't mind being hurt by people they love, unless they really love pain, like the darkness, you know.
Just on a little side note, that's something I find interesting is like people seem to group masochistic people with like the ones that enjoy it, let's say, being dominated, because to me that's not the same thing. It's like liking being hurt versus liking to be, you know, what do you call it? You know, dominated. I guess it's not the same thing. So when you group the two things, it's just not. No. But anyway, that's it. That's one thing I noticed. So interesting fact.
And I don't think people mind getting their ass kicked by women who can kick their ass.
Yeah.
In the words of Spike Spiegel, I like the type of woman who can kick my ass.
Yeah.
Indeed. I think it's pretty, you know, it's pretty sexy to have you know, a girl that can do some serious ass beating.
So
that's pretty cool.
So Max, I'm willing to bet someone in the comments section is gonna be like, "Wait, you don't like tsunderes, but you like Elisa?"
That's not a tsundere. That's stupid. I just love the people that always think, "Oh, tsundere, that's a tsundere." Like they don't even try to understand what the character is about. It's just not.
Yeah, because tsundere is all about evolution. You always start. It's, let's say, the level 0 of character development. You know, it's simply very easy to make a tsundere develop because you know it's the level 0 of social interaction. So it's very easy to make progress with that. I don't mind using tsundere to tell a pretty compelling love story. You know, because they can start pretty, let's say, pretty abusive, but when they start learning or when they start accepting their feelings, they are switching to the dere. So it really is the meaning of the tsundere world. You start tsun for the first part, and dere is the second part. So you switch to dere to the second part. So that's what it is. You start bad to finish, let's say, good, because you learn the.
But the difference here is that if you look at Lisa, she does not. She never had issues expressing her feelings, because a tsundere will always have issues expressing her feelings. You know, like she has no issues being affectionate towards Rin. You know, she never. The thing is, she is just easily, you know, what do you call it? Easily flustered sometimes. But that is you know.
I wouldn't say that, but Elisa, because it has always she always has said it that the mood has to be better. It's not that she's frustrated to express her feeling. That she said she mostly said that mood has to be built up. Like Rin always catch her in, let's say, in an embarrassing moment, and she says like, now is not a good time. It's always like this. So it's not that the problem that she has trouble expressing her feelings, that it's only the fact that she wants it to be better. So let's say the vanilla moment would be better if that's what she said basically.
I mean, she doesn't want something like that to happen in like the worst possible moment. I can't really blame that. But it's like also one thing I find funny is when she gets mad at Rin for you know not flirting,
reading well.
but like when she gets mad because, let's say, it sounds like he's doing something wrong with girls or whatever. And everybody's like, tsundere, no, that's not tsundere. She's mad because she's pushed as the love interest, that's it, you know. She feels like she got closer to Rin, and then she sees Rin basically just like, oh no, I'm just gonna flirt with this girl or whatever. And she gets mad, and that makes sense. I would be mad too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
it's not the mad per se, it's jealousy.
Elisa also doesn't physically abuse Rin.
Never.
So, and a slap in the face at the beginning of the game is hardly even can be considered abuse. If you think that's abuse, then you've never been into a fist fight.
No, she never abused Rin ever. That's one thing also, because a tsundere can be, and very often are, you know, pretty abusive. Let's be honest.
There are different forms of abuse after all. So a real tsundere is either physical abuse or verbally, it's just
also verbally, you know.
Yeah.
Elisa was never also like insulting Rin and like saying, you know, die, go die in a corner or something. You know, she's not that type of character.
Everyone, some people are like, she treats him like pissed on property. I'm like, Not really.
Yeah. Just oh well.
Yeah.
It is what it is, because Falcom had the amazing idea to push a love interest and at the same time give choices to everybody. So thanks to that, some people get mad because one thing or the other, whatever, just getting mad.
Yeah.
I hope they
just commit. Just stop this bullshit, and either you commit or you just stop romance. You just stop and do something free. Like the protagonist is free to do whatever, and if there is no more. Because Elisa, if you look at Sen 1, you cannot tell me that they did not try to build up something. Because when you see like the Nord thing and all those moments with Elisa, you will not see this with anybody else.
Yeah,
and
in the canon, it was in the canon.
In the canon, yeah. And I'm talking to canon specifically, and you could say, yes, there is still a tiny bit going on later on, but less because Falcom was like, we need to back down because people get mad or whatever. And again, this would not be an issue if you just choose one or the other and not just try to do both, because you cannot do that. But
that's what Tokyo Xanadu did good, and I hope Tokyo Xanadu will stay that way.
That would be great if Falcom did this with Tokyo Xanadu, I think.
Or either they choose Tokyo Xanadu to do their harem shit, or either they use Tokyo Xanadu to commit to a certain someone.
Yeah. They kind of did hint at Shiori and Tokyo Xanadu.
Yeah, Shiori has special. Special something with the main character, for sure.
Well, Asuka and Shiori has special treatment, especially in EX+.
Yeah, EX+ specifically.
Yeah, there's some hints with Asuka too.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, in fact, in my opinion, because you do see that the game is trying to push for Asuka as well. It's pretty obvious. So it is like.
I think it's.
But Ko,
because...
if you look at Ko, he shows. I would say if you look at the protagonist, he definitely shows affection for Shiori over Asuka.
Yep. But if you look at when you look at EX+, both girls acknowledge that they feel something for the same guy.
yeah, true.
And even Asuka in the canon. Kinda is interested in Ko. She isn't let's say she is affected by him.
Yeah, she is. So it is a bit confusing, but I will say that Tokyo Xanadu did a way better job at giving you that impression of harem, because you still have a few girls you can be close with, like Mitsuki, for example. Because even if she's kind of like hinted with like the blonde guy, I forgot. But if you like spend time with Mitsuki, it's like pretty obvious she develops something for Ko as well. Like she gets a lot closer to him, and but it's not everybody. But at least you get also like, what's her name, Rion, yeah.
Rion and Sora. They kind of have things. They hint at like they have things for him too.
Let's just say that Tokyo Xanadu did the Sen 1 level of bonding event.
Yeah,
which are pretty safe bonding events.
It's pretty safe. Though I will say it's not as basic and safe as Sen 1, because you won't see. I don't recall at least seeing stuff like holding hands and stuff between characters. Not sure, but I remember that. How lewd.
Yeah.
Holding hands, that's so lewd.
It was like 100% platonic with the Bond events.
Yeah, platonic, yeah. But Tokyo Xanadu had like a lot more hinting at something more going on with the girls versus Sen 1, which was very, very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's more like
it was character for Sen 1.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I wanted to say something. Speaking of hand holding, spoiler alert, Sen 4 has the best end of battle animation and the most lewd ever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know.
The lewdest one with best girl.
Hand holding.
Yeah.
I hear it happens regardless of your choice too.
Yeah, that's so funny because it's like, oh, you chose this girl. Well, you still get this. Oh, you chose this girl. Here's the ending. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna say what it is, but
even if you chose that girl doesn't have any special animation or whatever.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And also, what I find funny is like other things I cannot talk about, sadly. So maybe I should not. But yeah, just say contradicting stuff. Yeah, just say contradicting stuff, and it's just funny to me because I don't know. Falcom is kind of weird with that. Like you choose someone and then yeah.
Hashtag commit to a love interest.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about this eventually. Yeah. But what I will say though is like even regarding the main plot stuff, like the stuff that Lisa gets, because it's not a spoiler, right? She gets that stuff in every game more or less.
Yeah, guys, look forward to the Send for post game.
Yeah, post game podcast in October or something.
Yeah, whatever. But, whatever we talk about it, but yeah, we will talk about our fair share of issues we have with the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, we still love those games.
Enjoy the games, yeah. I knew we were about to say that, but
yeah.
Great minds think alike, I guess. But yeah, like we always say with Max, we had a good time with the game, though there are simply a lot of stuff we complain about, even though we still like and enjoyed the game, but there's simply a lot of stuff that has to be said about this game, a lot of weird decisions actually. So that's what we're just saying, because when we talk about it, it sounds like we're shitting on the game, which is shitting for humoristic purpose. Still hold the series dear to our heart,
Yeah,
it's not like we're just shitting for shitting on it.
When you love something, you kind of like you want it to be good, I guess.
Like people, like people say, you can like something and criticize it.
Yeah, true. That is very true. I think in life in general, like nothing's perfect to begin with. So it's like even if you criticize, let's say, music, like there's nothing perfect in music either. The perfection does not exist. So if you love something, there might be things that are not as good as others, and it is what it is, So, and let's just say that Sen 4 has a bit too many of these.
Yeah, Sen 4 has a lot of controversial things.
Yeah,
and it's even making me say that now that we are in Hajimari, which is not called Sen no Kiseki 5. So with Hajimari, I can safely say that Sen series is over, and for me, Sen is the baddest arc ever. I think I can safely say that. For me, is Sen is my least favorite of it. Even if it did bring a lot of technical upgrades, like the visual are very nice, menuing is pretty ergonomic. They brought new battle mechanics,
gameplay and stuff.
They improved the gameplay. They added a lot of things. Graphics are pretty nice looking, whether it's the characters or the world. They really put a lot of effort software wise. So I cannot say it's bad. It's not better. It's not better. Let's say compared to the previous games, I cannot say that the previous games were better in terms of technical stuff, because technical stuff, it ruins the other games, of course. But in terms of let's say, I wouldn't say story wise, but character wise, a lot of stuff is so controversial that it makes the game suffer because of all the controversial stuff the Sen series brought up. It makes the game bad. That's why I'm saying. But because technically the games are good, they're all right.
You know what's interesting to me? Do you guys know about the Falcom in-house built engine, the Yamaneko engine? What's interesting to me is that Sen no Kiseki was supposed to use the Yamaneko engine, and they ended up using the Fire engine because they couldn't make it work. Like Falcom could not make their own built engine by themselves work for Sen no Kiseki, so they had to ask Sony, I believe, because the Fire engine is Sony, to provide the engine. And I think Sen 3 and 4 and also Hajimari, they all use like a modified custom version of the Fire engine versus Sen 1 and 2, which uses like the vanilla Fire engine. But anyway, I just find it interesting because Ys still uses the Yamaneko engine.
Yep.
So Ys 9 is using the same engine. And fun fact, the Yamaneko engine is also used in Zero and Ao no Kiseki.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So what you see in Zero and Ao is still used in Ys today. It's not the same graphics, but yeah.
I feel like they could probably make it work though with the next arc, considering we're gonna go right into PS5.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping they do, because it's kind of cool, in my opinion, to have like a built in-house engine, because it's so rare nowadays. Like everybody's using what do you call it? Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 now. You know, it's Unreal Engine 5 and Unity and whatever. Like, I kind of like seeing people make their own engines. Same for like, let's say Gran Turismo. It has nothing to do with this, but they use like their own engine. They build everything themselves. It's not using anything else. And I find it awesome when games do that.
But by the way, we don't say that people, developers that don't use their engine are bad. We just
of course.
say that it's cool to use your own.
What I mean is, it's cool. That's it. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just cool.
The way you put it is like you made it sound other devs inferior because they're not using their own.
No, they're not. I think it makes perfect sense to use like one of those built engines, because it's cheaper. You don't have to build yourself like the full thing. You just have to use.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to add up to your opinion.
Yeah, because it's a good idea, because I didn't think about this.
Yeah, controversial takes and shit, you know.
But you know, since Falcom already has something, I think it's cool if they can still use it, basically, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's cool they can still use it, like you said.
But they do, I guess they do with Ys, but not with Kiseki. Which, you know, it's kind of, you know, this leads me to one thing. Do any of you think that it's kind of sad that Ys is not the flagship series anymore, kind of? Because, you know,
it's been getting kind of ignored lately.
No.
I mean, I love
to put it bluntly, no. To put it bluntly, no. But there is but I understand where you come from. But I understand Falcom's position that they do that because
it sells more. Like Kiseki is selling more. But that's why I'm saying it's sad, because Ys is being kind of not very loved. Compared to, and Ys was like the shit. You know, Ys was the shit. It was like Falcom's biggest thing, and then it got really overshadowed by Kiseki. Right when waifu starting becoming a thing in Falcom.
Yeah. I will say though, even if like Cold Steel would be like your least favorite, it did kind of help the series in the West.
Yeah, it did.
Yep, it did. Even if it's my favorite too, yeah. I agree with that.
It's hard to say that that Cold Steel is the worst to me. It's not really a matter of being the best or the worst. Because when I look at the series as a whole, it's, if you ask me like, Max, can you grade every game and like do a tier list of all Kiseki games, I would not be able to do it. Because I'm not the kind of guy that knows exactly where things stand like this, you know? Because I like different things about the games. Some games I like other things and dislike. You know, the like and dislikes are different for each game for me, so it's kind of hard to really. I know which group of games I can put on top, but that's about it, really. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so because the Kiseki series to me still kind of keeps the same formula that I always loved about it. So yeah. Except that the current ones are kind of suffering from certain floor problems that.
Yeah, it didn't change per se, but the treatment the recent ones got is hindering them. That's why I'm saying the Sen is the worst arc of the series, because the series never have been that much controversial since the Sen series, and the people have been more aware of the Sen series. I mean, more and more people have played the Sen series, and for those who played both Sen series and Sky series, you never saw the same complaints of the Sen series and the Sky series. That's why I'm saying it's the baddest.
Yeah, I will say also it divides people. Like I've never seen that much,
let's say a fan base that much divided. Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
That's why, in a nutshell, that's why it's the baddest for me, because since then the fan base is very much divided.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. So that's why for me it's worst.
Yeah,
because it's the reason the fan base is most divided, because people who played all the games, they all agree on certain points, but in the Sen series, nobody will agree with everything.
You find so many diverging and radically different ways of thinking, and it's like wow. Like
for Sen series, I would put it like this: for Sen series, it's a lot of a matter of interpretation. But in Skies and Crossbell, there's no place for that. People just commonly accept them like. Sky and Crossbell are good, but in Sen series, a lot of people start interpreting stuff. I mean, it's okay. You are interpret. It's okay it's normal and okay to interpret something you play, but the interpretation are so much different that it caused. I was about to say vortexes, but it created a void between the different series the players of the series, because it's commonly accepted that Sky is slow but good, Crossbell is good everywhere, but in Sen series, for a lot of people it's their most favorite, or for a lot of people it's bad.
I think it just comes from the fact that you got different audiences targeted.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, of course, it comes to this, but like we said before, the previous games never divided.
Yeah,
never divided. Even if they are not perfect, of course. When I say that, because there are complaints about previous games, but overall, people were wanting to overlook those flaws, but in Sen there are flaws that people cannot overlook, and I have to agree with that. There are simply flaws that you cannot overlook, and that's why I think it's the baddest.
I will say something.
It's the baddest of the top tier of the top.
I know what you mean. It's still good. It's just like the least good of the good, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, I'm not gonna drop any names because it's not a good thing. But when even a certain, let's say, bigger pillar in the community that is very reliable and stuff starts complaining about the writing quality, like being hurt by this whole waifu thing and stuff and all that stuff. I think it says a lot about the state of the series, so I'm just hoping that Falcom kind of maybe realizes that maybe they should not try this hard to what do you call it, to appeal to everybody, and maybe just focus on the game being its best, doing its best at being the game, I guess, if it makes any sense, because it's kind of hard to say for me, but we kind of reached a point where even the people that never say anything usually and always like have an open mind, they start complaining. That's when something is wrong.
I see who you mean and what you mean.
So
but I mean, coming from three dudes who watch anime and who watch moe shit, let's say, we don't mind. I don't think people mind the moe shit.
Yeah, I'm all for that stuff. I love that stuff, you know. The
waifu shit. I don't think people mind that.
Yeah.
And it sells. Of course, it sells.
Yeah. The way it's done, it's the way it's done, really.
Yeah, the way it's done is causing the game a disservice.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
That's basically what we're saying. And, we don't mind the fact that there are waifu shit or whatever. It's cool if there are. We like it, but.
Yeah.
In a series that kind of prides itself in lore, though, choosing your waifu kind of wasn't a good idea.
I wasn't even about to bring that issue up. I was about to bring the fact that even if it's there, even if there are waifu and shit like that, we are not here to, let's say, play an anime game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can have waifu, but treat them differently, like the typical waifu shit. You know what I mean?
It doesn't need to be. I think also it doesn't need to be a choice. It could just be a good character that surrounds you in the cast, and she's awesome, and you're like, oh, she's awesome. She's a great waifu. Yeah. But you don't necessarily need the protagonist to smash it necessarily. Yeah. You know, it doesn't have to be for everybody. You know, it's just yeah. So you can make great waifu characters and have them have a life in the game, for example. You know, what a concept.
But there was a funny comment I had in my playthrough. Shout out to that person. I think they will recognize themselves. That person mounted a playthrough of Asen no Kiseki games, and they dropped on my walkthrough video of the first game, and they said, "Hey, thanks for doing that walkthrough, man. It helped me a lot." That person said that I really like the games because it feels like I'm playing an anime game. I'd be like, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad the video helped. But you know, what he said bothered me a little. Like, I'm playing an anime game. Is that all you're playing? That's I find it kind of sad. You know,
anime games are not the same. They don't have the same goal. You know, it's not.
Yeah. He said it's like I'm playing. I'm playing an anime, not watching. But he said that, and it's kind of bothered me. Like,
you always get those. You know,
in a way, he's not wrong though, because it is, you know, anime style.
It is anime style. Yeah.
I get what you mean, though.
I kind of wish that that the games had the anime aesthetics, but they weren't treating their story and their storytelling like animes. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah. And you could take
that's what Sen did. So it went full anime style instead of having let's say a very balanced mix. It went full anime style, and people and of course people like that guy would pop up. I didn't mind him. He was a pretty cool person, and he's actually looking forward watching my playthrough of Hajimari no Kiseki. But what he did say bothered me, but that guy wasn't bad, so I won't complain. But there are people like that who pop up to play those games because it's anime the game, you know, it's your shonen but in a game format. So it's kind of sad when I saw that, but I understand that the fact that people could see that. I'm not saying bad per se.
I think Knight wanted to say something, but
yeah, sorry, I wanted to finish.
It's okay, it's fine. I was gonna say though, like sometimes I do kind of get your what you're saying, but it is still kind of true. It is an anime game, but it does kind of help. It does kind of, in a way, like the anime style does kind of help some of those games like Kiseki sell too, because anime's been getting bigger and bigger and all around the world.
Yeah, true.
Well, like I said, it's not the problem. Like it looks like an anime. Like it could look like an anime, but does not treat stuff like animes, and that's the charm of the previous games too. In a way,
I get what Kevin is saying.
It's not. I won't say it's not the charm, but it's one of the charms of the previous games. The previous games had the themes and the appearance of animes.
Yeah,
but they weren't treating everything like your typical shonen.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Kondo said it himself. So this is one thing I want to bring up because you talk about this. The sad part about this is that this is not. Kondo said that this is not supposed to be anime. The thing is, it is Japanese, and that's what it is because that style is typical Japanese. Anime has a style that is like manga. That is like, if you look at illustrations generally, that's how they draw things, you know, like comics and stuff. And the games look this way not to be anime, they look this way because it is a typical Japanese style. And the thing that's pretty sad about this is that you see those people come into this series not because of what it has to offer, but like, oh cool, it looks like the latest shonen in the last season or whatever, you know. Like it's not really. It's a bit sad that they don't really want to, you know, see what it is about. Maybe also. Yeah. Like just I just like my anime, so I want to see something anime. That's it. You know, it's a bit sad in a way.
A little bit, yeah. And also it doesn't really help that like half the Cold Steel cast are more cliche anime than previous cast.
Yeah, Falcom did not help with this because they used a lot of those very, very, very common cliches.
Stereotypes, shit like that.
Yeah, those stereotypes are like plentiful, really.
So, you know, when you were saying how Kondo said that not to think of these games like anime, I got this is a bit off topic, but I do know it kind of reminded me of the opening of song of Gundam ZZ, where the theme song is literally called "It's Not Anime."
Oh god, that's great.
I should probably link that afterwards.
yeah. But
we're gonna put a link on the bottom of the left or the whatever on the screen.
Or just the description maybe, but yeah, the screen would be better. But it's again, I think it's just a problem generally in the West. People, when they see the style, they think anime. They don't think this is like a typical Japanese way of drawing. No, this is just anime. So of course the approach is not the same, and it's not to be arrogant about this because not everybody is very familiar with these games or like styles.
It's cool because it brought up pretty interesting people too.
Yeah,
but,
because they might discover it and think, oh, this is amazing, you know. This is not something I was expecting.
That brought a fair good share of good profile of people, but it also brought, let's say, brain dead.
But you do, the problem, you do get a lot of bad as well with it. Yeah.
You know, I remember one guy said he got into the series through Cold Steel. He said he came in for Elisa and stayed for the lore.
That's great.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that is people like that we want. Just kidding. Those are the people that are more chill about stuff. So it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, staying for the lore. So you know.
Which is what the franchise is ultimately about. So.
Yeah, this is why also I think this is such a big issue for me, like everything we talked about, because the lore is so important to me. Because when I started to play these games with Sky, I was so I don't know, amazed, and I was loving this so much. You know, this idea of like building this world and all these lives of the people and the country and the politics and whatever, like everything was built.
Those things when we first played those games felt very very lively and believable.
Yeah, it feels like its own
It was
world,
fascinating,
really. Yeah, and then when you do this, what you're basically doing is hurting the lore, and hurting the lore is not a good thing when that's the main thing you came up, the main reason why you enjoy this series. Me talk good tonight. But yeah, it's that's why it's so important to me, because if you did something like this to a game that does not have that aspect, that it doesn't matter, because it's not gonna hurt anything, you know.
Yeah. I understand people who would drop the series because of Sen, because there are some people who drop the series because of Sen, because it didn't feel like they were playing this. The games weren't giving them the same impression that the previous games gave them. And I'm not talking about people who played Sky and Cold Steel. I'm talking about people who played Trace in the Sky, Crossbell, and Sen series, and being disappointed in Sen series. There are some people who are disappointed because the new games didn't feel like they were trying to give the same vibe of the previous game. Of course, they don't want the same thing. They want the same thing but improved, but not something different.
Yeah,
I understand that people want something, or don't want something different, but the games don't have the same spirit starting from Sen. I think that's what drove some people out.
Maybe, yeah, especially the older players that were in for you know, all the things we talked about, and then
you enter for the world,
not
for the waifu.
Yeah, and then you enter the world of Sen, and it's like all about waifus and anime tropes, and you know, it kind of
technology and shit like that.
Yeah, it can be a problem. Yeah, because to me that's not a problem. Like I just don't care. It's a thing I'm used to. I enjoy.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
But there's let's say a way to transition.
Exactly.
And
also the way it was handled. That is my issue.
Yeah. You have to handle it. You have to handle it in a way to not lose what people first came for.
Yeah, because you need to keep the same recipe. Let's say, like the recipe that made your I don't know, your dish, like the successful, you know, and if you start like watering down or whatever, like just downgrading the thing, just so you can implement these aspects, then no one wins in the end. Even if, because the only people that win, in quotes, would be the ones that only came for the choices of waifus and like don't care about the lore. That is the only ones that win in this. I would say. And even then, they don't really win, because if you like someone, you will be directed to Lisa somehow. So there's still like, you know, those aspects as well. So no one wins, basically. When you try to please everybody, no one is happy.
Yep.
In the end. It is what it is. But I think that's enough about about this topic now, maybe.
Yeah. We could probably talk about like the releases of Cold Steel 4 and East 9 coming.
Oh yes, finally.
Yeah.
It's exactly like we guessed. 2 years to get it, which makes sense because Sen 3 took 2 years, and the following year you got Sen 4. Which,
even 1 and 2 did too.
Actually, is it 2 years? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because yeah, it is. So it's a pretty decent amount of time. I think it's not too long.
For East 9, wasn't it 2019?
East 9 was 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 1 year for East 9.
Yeah, East 9 is pretty quick. Yeah.
It's coming out in 2021 though.
When is it?
Right.
Oh, it's gonna release in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021.
Oh, I see. So yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, it's always a couple years.
Yeah.
But,
Which is hilarious because I remember some guy because it was like the end of the year in 2018 when Cold Steel 4 came out in Japan, and then the dude like wrote, "Have you given up on ever seeing Cold Steel 3 and 4 released in the West?" And I'm just like, "Are you new?"
Yeah. Oh
I'm
god.
like,
We're not talking about Koei Tecmo, dude.
yeah, exactly. And also, have you even seen the time it took for us to get Sky second
Oh
chapter?
god. Just imagine being an OG, like discover the series somehow, like in Japan or whatever. You play Trails in the Sky FC in Japanese, and then like it comes out like literally a decade later or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Luckily for me, I didn't play Sky until it popped up on Steam.
That's actually the same for me. What I discovered this series via a friend that was playing the game on emulators as a let's play. So FC, the version of FC that came out in 2011 on PSP, and that's how I discovered the Trail series. And yeah, I just fell in love with the series. But I was already a Falcom fan before. But that was East, you know, because of East.
Yeah.
So.
I started Trails the year SC released.
Yeah, so 2015. 2015.
Yeah, I played FC during June, and then I finished the game. I was like, dude, where is the second game? And I was like, what? It's still in development? What the hell? And I remember like looking for a translation update and shit like that, and I was like, yo, it's coming soon. I only had to wait a few months.
Yeah.
Good old times. Do you remember? Maybe I'm the only one, but I bought FC when it was first released on PC in 2014, and I bought it day one. So what happened is I launched the game, and I saw this like LSD trip, like a purple opening with like black and white and whatever, like all kinds of crazy shit going on the screen. And then I click on start the game, and like it crashed, and I was like, oh god, that's great. And then you know they fixed all those patches, like, you know,
good old Japanese game running on PC.
But it's like, and it was so funny because I remember like they would release patches all the damn time every day, and it ended up running okay, but the frame rate would like take a deep, like a super huge dive every few seconds. But I hear now it's better though, because there was like other patches since then that supposedly fixed all those frame rate issues. But yeah, all Japanese games on PC, yeah, pretty much it. I don't know how Sen runs on PC though. I never played Cold Steel on PC.
Cold Steel, I played the first game on PC a little bit, and it ran pretty fine.
Okay, so I mean it's a you know, modern era game, so I guess it makes sense that it runs better. Yeah. But yeah, Trails FC, like you would think it runs on any potato, but then even like my PC was pretty beast at the time, like it was a pretty high-end one that I had, and it would not fare well on my PC. Like, God.
Yeah, the problem is those old games were made to be played on
Windows XP.
Single cores PCs.
Yeah.
But when you start dual coring or 4 coring games like this, I'm not talking about Japanese games especially, but all games were made to be played on single core PCs. So there are issues sometimes with those games when you start using two PCs that are too powerful. There are issues because of that.
Speaking of Sky, sorry.
Yeah, because the games don't know how to handle.
Yeah, they don't know
that much power. But yeah.
Speaking of Sky, I wanted to say, if Kondo is not lying, because again I'm very let's just say take it with a mountain of salt. But you know, he said he wants to remake Sora no Kiseki in full 3D. I think that would be kind of cool if he did, like if Falcom did that, because just so Trails in the Sky is a bit more on the map, I guess, like people will see it and be interested, because it's sad to say that nowadays not a lot of people are interested in playing like old school looking games, you know, stuff with with sprites and all that. So, yeah.
The cheap models will probably turn people off. Yeah. I bet.
So if you make like a brand new version of it, that would be cool. And same for Crossbell as well. Like doing doing full remakes would be kind of nice.
Anyway, let's go back onto like the Cold Steel 4 topic. That's coming out in a couple of months.
Oh yeah, a couple of months. Man, time flies though, because I remember when it got announced, and now it's.
Is it gonna be released on September?
It's gonna be released in October, actually.
Hopefully, Nisa actually ships it in time.
Yeah.
I'll probably get the regular edition because nothing interested me in that game.
Anyway, I will say that it's nice to see that I know you guys don't give a shit about like English voice acting, but it is nice to see that the dubbed actors of Estelle and Joshua and Ren are reprising their roles,
actually,
which had some people worried because Agate and Tita had new voices.
Yeah.
And then there's also like some of the Crossball cast. Lloyd's actor from Cold Steel 2 is coming back.
Yeah.
And,
which is normal, which is logical.
Yeah, Ellie though.
Ellie basically sounds like Rishia now.
Yeah.
Like
so she will voice two people.
It's like did Nisa only have access to 10 voice actors or something?
Yeah.
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah, it's
kind of a weird decision.
When you said Estelle's voice actress is coming back, I don't know why, but in my head I heard that "we're good to go" voice. Like when you finish when you finish a fight in FC.
Oh yeah.
Though,
piece of cake.
Though to compensate the fact that Ellie is voiced by English Risha, in Japanese it's the same thing with Muse and Claire.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Though it is for a tragic reason.
Yeah, it's very sad. Yeah,
it's a tragic reason why we got this.
Could you believe it's been already 5 years since her voice actress passed away? Miyu Matsuki.
Yeah. The last time I heard her in a game different than Trails, it was Zestiria. Yeah. Even though I dislike Zestiria, I found her pretty good in that game.
Yeah. The last anime she was in the oh boy, I think it was Shimoneta, and she will be remembered as this crazy character. But it was fun though. She was also Yaruko as well.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring up that I'll remember her as Kuko in Yaruko.
Yeah, I think just a little side note because we talked about this actress. I didn't notice back then. I didn't really click. It didn't click in my head. But I think the reason why the ending of Nyaruko was rushed compared to the original material was because of her passing. Because there was supposed to be like a full ending adaptation, and they only did like a small movie, I think, because she got ill and passed away. So
yeah, it was like an OVA episode actually.
Yeah. And in fact, it was supposed to be a series of episodes, and they did just one OVA. Yeah, because this is not the canon ending, like because of that, because they couldn't do it. But anyway, that's it's the same ending, just details, I guess. So,
yeah. Anyway,
back to main topic.
Yeah. Kia sounds pretty fine in my opinion.
Yeah, at least it's not Yuna.
Yeah.
Which sounds like she's smoking 5 packs a day.
We have a very on Takamaki sounding Yuna in English.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't fit.
It doesn't, yeah. Let's see.
But the rest, like I will say, usually in general, the voices in English fit pretty well, except Yuna.
Except a few.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else. I'm still kind of disappointed though that the collector's edition does not come with a Valimar figure or something, because that would have been cool.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Because Cold Steel 3 at least had Mishi, like the Mishi plushie, so I was expecting 4 to be like at least as good, but no, they kind of dropped the ball.
What does it come with? I seriously don't know, because when they announced...
I think I told you, but you know the East 8 limited edition?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same, but minus the acrylic stance.
Yeah.
So art book and art book.
You know that big ass poster, like cloth poster that I have on my wall? It comes with that as well, but instead it's like it's Reen, Estelle, and Lloyd. So I'm probably gonna hang it if I can, like replace some World Cross I don't want to use anymore or something. Because I kind of like having, you know, it's like 3 protagonists on one poster, which I find really cool. So I'll probably
so for me, it would be a skip on the collector's edition, I guess.
Fair enough, fair enough. But
the box looks cool though.
What?
I said the box and the
the box looks cool,
yeah.
Both Knight and I know we ordered a limited edition, but
I did the same with Japanese edition of Sen 4 actually, because it came with nothing, if I recall correctly.
Nothing. I think the books are really worth it in my opinion, but
I like the art books are cool.
It's not even art books. It's like, you know, the history of the series. Like you get so much insight in.
It was.
You get the script also.
Draft,
You get drafts and scripts and stuff.
Since I couldn't read it, I was like, nah.
Yeah, I guess I'm a sucker for, like, even if I cannot read, I'm the kind of guy that likes owning that stuff, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Some people are like that,
What else?
But yeah, also, speaking of, Sen 4, Cold Steel 4 coming west, East 9 coming west as well is it's a great game still,
I was a little surprised they announced it when they did, because I was expecting an East 9 announcement after Cold Steel 4.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining, because hey, maybe we'll get
they're handling them at the same time.
Yeah.
So guys, be ready to hear people saying, "Man, Lisa did bad stuff." So yeah, be ready.
I will say though, if that's the case, and hey, maybe we'll get Hajimari in a quicker manner, or maybe even the crossbow games. Though I'm kind of have my doubts about that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad about this, because I think we need we really need crossbow. But I'm not losing hope. I'm not losing hope, because I think I recall seeing Kondo talking about this, the possibility of getting crossbow in the West. So
even if he says, you can play Sen free, he still acknowledged the fact that he should port the crossbow games.
Yeah, I mean,
he's at least.
All he's saying is like, yes, you can do it, but, and then he doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to upset people. But what this means is just do whatever you want. That's what it should be taken as, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to start with Sentry, it's perfectly fine. Do it. It's good. And then, but for those who actually want to play the games in order, yeah, guys, it's okay. You'll get crossbow eventually. But yeah. I think it's. I'm hoping Nisad kind of pulls off some kind of trick that would allow the games not to be too far away from
they could actually like team up with the Geofront team, and maybe they could use their translation.
Yeah, maybe that would be cool.
Yeah. I remember Exy did the same thing with a fan translation before. I can't remember what game it was though.
Oh yeah, I know. What was it? Oh, I forgot. I have forgotten as well, but I remember that story. I do. So
as shit as Exceed is now, I will say that was kind of cool. They asked like some help from like outsiders like that.
I think no matter what happened, and you guys know what I feel with Exceed and Kev as well. But they did, I think they did really kickstart the interest in the West, and they tried really to do something first. They were the first to do this because before them, no one had interest in Falcom games. No one.
There was like Konami or something, but
yeah, but Konami was like in like 10 years prior or something, with V6. I think it was V6. Yeah.
Let's say we could feel the passion for from the people who were on those games, but there were too much shady shit going on.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because we that's why people were drawn to those games, because people who were working around it really had a knack to show their passion to the game.
Yeah.
So that's why they drawn people around them.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that people started to be more and more aware that there were too much shady shit going on.
Yeah,
with
and I will say
some public statements.
Yeah, and I will say as well, on top of that, Exceed is they're not big enough, I think, to really grow the series further. I think.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because if you look at marketing, for example, like Nisa has done some wrong, obviously, but Nisa is a lot more potent when it comes to like getting the word, out there. Like they know how to do things. They can, now with all that's going on, it's kind of tough. But if you look at all the conventions and they did, and all the presentations and interviews, and I mean, they do a lot to have the games.
They have more communication.
Yeah,
power.
they communicate a lot more. Yeah,
more of a budget.
And
also,
that is a very good thing.
Also, when you compare like the Cold Steel 3 and 4 trailers to the Cold Steel 1 and 2 trailers, the Cold Steel 1 and 2 trailers by Exceed, those actually kind of suck.
They do, yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like.
I mean, yeah. What else can I say?
I don't even remember those, but
it's basically those trailers for 1 and 2. It's just gameplay footage and text scrolling around the place saying,
it looks like someone
enter the world of Arabonia and shit.
Yeah, it looks like
trailers.
Yeah, no, but it looks like someone like in his home recorded some gameplay and just edited a quick video and snapped some text on it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Maker.
It's very homemade. You know what I mean?
With what Niso did in comparison, they got Sean Shiplock and I don't know who voices Osborne, like the name of the guy, but they had them narrating the trailers to 3 and 4 respectively, and there's more, there's more excitement going into those.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word. Yeah, for a lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Well, they could just go with the Japanese one and just use the English footage instead, and use English text instead.
You know what's interesting though? I don't think they're doing this anymore, but Nisa for Sen 3 was using Japanese voices in the trailers for the French localization and English for the rest. So they knew, they actually knew that here in French-speaking countries, we don't really...
we don't mind that.
Yeah, we don't mind, but it's we tend to prefer the original.
Yeah, there were interviews saying that French voice actor they don't mind. They actually really like Japanese version of stuff, but when you hear some of their interviews, they say that Japanese voice acting is so unique that it's very hard to put it in another language. So we respect that, and we try to do something a little bit similar. But if you can, just watch. They do recommend you to just watch in the original format.
That's what they say in French, of course. But yeah.
Yeah.
So it must be interesting to you, Knight, to hear voice actors saying basically, go listen to like the original voice acting.
Yeah.
They are pretty humble about the stuff, and they don't say that only for Japanese voice acting. They say that if you can watch original language form, it's always
it goes
better
for English as well.
Yeah, they say that for everything. Of course, there are some French personalities we all know and like, but they are pretty humble about it.
I mean, for me, it's the same. Like, if something was in English originally, I just do it in English. I mean, it's easy because I just understand English. But you know, it's everything is in English now. What I do, like, even if I have a choice for French, I just give up because it's not even well translated in French anymore. So I just go with English anyway. Like for Cold Steel 3, for example. You know, I told you guys, but. I tried the French one and I was like, what is this?
Even if the translator is a fan of Trail series, he kinda went with weird decision.
Yeah, because stuff that makes no sense. Like really.
the topic was brought up in some French forums, and they were saying like, while it is nice that Nisa made the French translation, it has some weird decisions.
Really, because we actually changed the canon stuff. You know, it's like, wow, like, what are you doing? But anyway, it's like really strange, like nonsensical stuff sometimes. Like, you get a sentence and they say something else, and you're like, why did you change it? Like, why not just say the same thing that was said originally? But anyway, it was what it was. So now it's back to English. I'm just not gonna play in French anymore. But it is also like the Brazzers thing. Yeah, that is a French localization thing. Because why not call it the Bracer Guild? No, let's just call it the Brazzers Guild. You know.
I wonder if someone in the French translation department was like, you know, this might be a name of an American porn company.
I mean, to be fair, there is one Z and not two, but it's still, you know, it's still kind of, you know, I mean, when you read it as Brazzers, you don't read it, you know, something else. It's just Brazzers. So
nothing else will come out of your mind, of course.
Yeah.
People sure are close in that organization.
And now you put some bonding events with the Brazzers logo.
Oh my gosh. Don't give Dojin artists ideas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they have done. I'm sure, like, I've seen a few like bonding events supposedly in Dojin, and it's like, that certainly is some bonding.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Okay, so I think we brought up everything we wanted to cover.
I think we have we have a good amount done.
It was a good 2 hours too.
Yeah, so
it's about 2 hours, so I think we should end the Aben time.
Aben time style. So this episode was brought to you by
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Oh, give us money, guys who make Raid. I'm just kidding.
No, it has been sponsored by the IBC.
Yeah, the IBC. Get loans with only 1% of interest. I don't know.
Hey, watch me pretend that this mobile game is good.
Okay. This is the biggest joke on the internet, really. These days, it's crazy. We totally did not receive a script to read the Raid Shadow Legends. You know.
Yeah.
And I have absolutely played the game. It is amazing. You know, who cares about Cold Steel? Like, this game is so stupid. Just play Raid Shadow Legends. That's what
hey, there you go.
Anyway, that's enough.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you guys in the next episode. with.
We don't know when it will be out, but the next episode will probably talk about the new 7.
Yeah, probably character discussions most.
Yeah.
Likely. Yeah. Anyway,
no, most new 7s because we cannot enter the spoiler zone with Sen 4 yet.
Highway to the spoiler zone.
Anyway,
So we will probably enter into some spoiler zone for Sen 4 with those new 7.
yeah, we probably did. Yeah.
It will be slight. It will be very light because they don't do much in Sen 4 anyways. Fire, man! Put that gift, man.
Yeah. If I remember to do it, I will. I probably will. So no worries. Anyways,
right,
guys. Until next time. Take care.
We're wrapping up this thing, and we'll see you next time.
Later.